Protests at the United States Postal Service amid federal decisions.
Central student government candidates speak about their platforms ahead of the election.
The sudden discontinuation of LEAD Scholars Program. All that and more in this week's edition of Wolv TV Newsfeed.
Hello and welcome to Newsfeed. I'm Carson Downer.
And I am Valeria Morales.
On Sunday, 150 United States Postal Service workers and community members gathered to protest the potential privatization of the USPS in front of the East Liberty Street Post Office. President Trump recently mentioned his plans to disband the USPS Board of Directors and privatize the service, placing it under the Department of Commerce, which has sparked numerous concerns. The goal of the protest was to raise awareness and put pressure on policymakers in Washington.
This past Friday, the University of Michigan's LEAD Scholars Program was canceled abruptly. The program was founded by the Alumni Association and served to help aid undergraduate students from underrepresented minority communities on a merit basis.
Students found out over email that the program would be discontinued, and the overall response has been one of shock and uncertainty. This decision comes after federal acts to put pressure on universities into cutting similar programs.
In the email from the Director of Student Engagement, it was stated that the decision came from an order to, quote, comply with all applicable laws, end quote. The Alumni Association states that they are dedicated to helping students find alternative funding sources.
Last Friday, the executive debate for Central student government elections took place. Presidential and vice presidential candidates were asked questions about funding use, student priorities, and more. Moderating and creating questions for the debate was a representative from the Michigan Daily.
Many topics were discussed during this debate, from student safety to how to improve student life. It was a chance for candidates to display their platforms prior to voting, which takes place from March 26th until 10 p.m. on the 27th. Sarah Youssef gives us more information.
Central student government elections are just around the corner, and campaigning has been evident around campus. With seats across schools up for grabs and the executive vice president and president roles open, students have formed into different parties that align with interest.
Students have the opportunity to either run as an independent or run with a party. These parties are typically different every semester, so it really depends on what the campus climate is like, what things are happening at the university, in the surrounding area, and really across the world. So that's kind of comes down to what the parties are. What kind of the party's values are going to be. Every so often we'll have another party that ran in a previous semester return as well.
In the past, student turnout has been low, with only about 15% voting in these elections.
Central student government is something that not a lot of students on campus are aware of, and the other issue with it is a lot of students don't realize that they actually fund central student government. So similar to the government, it's getting its funds from the taxpayers. CSG gets its funds from the students, so every student has a fee when they pay their tuition both semesters. Students aren't aware of that, A, and then B, students aren't aware of what's actually happening with that funds once it makes its way to CSG. So that's likely one of the greatest reasons for low voter turnout. And so with that, something we're doing is working on creating as many voting stations or polling places as possible, both across Central Campus, and we're working on getting some on North Campus as well. Our goal with that is to get CSG seen. We can send as many emails as we want, but when it's that same email coming in, CSG, people have seen it 100 times before, it likely just makes its way to their trash bin.
Despite hoping for a victory, many of the candidates hope for the same outcome: higher student involvement and higher transparency in both elections and CSG.
I hope to gain a victory. That's the ideal situation. But more than that, I hope to make CSG interesting, exciting, and valuable to the student body, because right now what we're seeing in elections is we're seeing 15% turnout. I'm thinking for this election we'll see 15% or less turnout, which really reflects, I think, CSG's inability to meet students where they're at.
Out of this election cycle, besides for myself, I run with a slate of candidates who are dedicated to seeing change. So not only them elected, but as well as myself, as well as seeing tangible results for all students on this campus, so that they can understand what Central Student Government does and what it can do and what we will accomplish after this election.
Voting begins March 26th at 12 a.m. and concludes March 27th at 10 p.m. You can view sample ballots and more information on the CSG website. Thanks for watching Newsfeed. I'm Sarah Youssef.
Last Friday, La Casa hosted their annual Latina Culture Show at the Michigan Theater. The event featured multiple performances by students, including cultural songs and dances that highlighted a diverse variety of Latina cultures.
The event gave students the opportunity to showcase their talents and heritage, featuring performances by groups such as Los Salseros Azules, Los del AA, and Los Friquiguanas, to name a few. Women's History Month has been filled with lessons on the past and what is held in the present. Now, as the month comes to an end, what a better way to celebrate than to highlight the women who influence us most. Newsfeed's own Megan Kane is on the diag asking U of M students about the inspiring women in their lives.
Hi, I'm Megan Kane with Newsfeed, and today we're out here on the diag celebrating Women's History Month. We're asking students about the women who inspire them. Let's hear their stories.
I'm Bowen, and I'd have to say my history professor last semester. She was incredibly kind, always there if I needed help, and yeah, I learned a lot from her.
My name is Catherine Nye. I'm in space science engineering, and a female professor that's inspired me recently is Professor Gallo in the astronomy department. She's so passionate in her lectures, and she really made me interested about space.
Hi, I'm Katie, and my mentor or UM person who inspired me was my freshman year English Lit teacher, Chandrika. If you ever see this, you changed lives, babe. You were so good.
I'm Pranav, and the professor who's inspired me the most was Dr. Rebecca Schwartz. She taught me in my writing seminar, gave me a whole new perspective on writing. She was so helpful. She was so open to any questions I had.
My name's Amelia Morris, and I'm inspired by my English teacher for English 125. Professor Bardoff, because she inspired me to focus more on my writing and how I can incorporate it into all my classes.
I'm Izzy, and I'm inspired by my old Spanish teacher Lola, because she's just awesome.
So hi, my name is Savannah Evans, and a female coach who has inspired me here is Miss Debbie. She's my M-STEM advisor, and she has inspired me because she's always encouraging me to do better. I'm a current freshman here, so it's been an adjustment definitely from high school, and she's just been very supportive and helping me with my journey here thus far.
My name is Kaden, and this is my cat YB. And I'd say somebody who's inspired me here is my environmental justice professor. She just taught me a lot of stuff that I had never known about the way our cities are built and America's built, and I thought it was really educational and important, and I think she's doing really good work.
As we celebrate Women's History Month, let's remember to honor the women who inspire us every day. I'm Megan Kane, and thanks for watching Newsfeed.
That's all for this episode of Newsfeed. Thank you for watching.
Follow Wolf TV Umish on Instagram for more, and as always,
go blue.